Hi, my name is David. Today we're going to do number 645, set mismatch. This is an easy level problem on LeetCode. I'm going to solve it in JavaScript. Basically, this prompt here is that we're given a function that takes in, an array of numbers, and these numbers are sorted in order from 1 to whatever the length is, n, 1 to n. And there's an error in this where one number is duplicated. So it wants us to return what that duplicate number is and also what is supposed to be inside of it. So there's supposed to be a 3 here and then 2 is duplicated. So that is what we return. And there's a very clever way of solving this where we can use O of 1 space where we just adjust this, we just turn this negative to where we use the index of it. So we know that the index, we compare this to the index of what it's supposed to be. So this is supposed to be the index of 0. 1 is always going to be the index of 0. 2 is always going to be index of 1. And then there's going to be an error within that. And that error is going to give us the duplicate we need. And that place in the index is going to give us the one that's missing that's supposed to be. And it was kind of, the idea is kind of confusing, I thought, but it's a very clever way to solving it. And then the idea is that I'm just going to do like a high level of pseudocode. Is that we're going to create an output array because this is what we're going to return. And now we're going to loop through nums. And the basic idea is that we're going to turn nums negative where it's supposed to and have it positive when duplicated. And that's just the high idea of it. So we're going to adjust this so we can keep constant space. And then 1 is where it's supposed to be, so we turn that negative. 2 is where it's supposed to be, so we turn that negative. And then 2 here, we compare it, it's supposed to be at this index, but there's already something in there. And it's not negative. And then since it's already negative, we know that we can push this to the array. And so we push duplicate to output. And next we have to loop through nums again. And we know find where value is positive. And where it's positive, we just push that value, push that index value plus 1 to the output. And we return output. So we see here that it's supposed to be 2, but the index of it is 2, and we just add 1 to 3. So that is, we return 3 to it. So that's just the high level, and the way we're going to code it, it's going to be much more detailed. So let output equals empty array. And now we're going to loop through nums. And we can just do let num of nums, since we're going to have to adjust these. And we can do, we have to turn it into absolute value first, because we're going to loop through this, and then we're going to turn it negative. And then we have to turn it back to positive, because if we see it as positive, we return it. So if let, okay, we do num equals math.apps num. So we turn this everything to the positive of it. And then if num, and now we look at the index of it, of what it's supposed to be, num minus 1. So we know 1 minus 1 is 0. And if we know that it's less than 0, we're seeing it again. So we have to push that num to the output. But we're not going to see that in the first one. And this is what happens when we see it the first time, is that we get this and we turn it negative. I mean, like console log that so you can see it. the nums, how we change the nums array. So we get this, and we loop through it, return this in the absolute value, and we look at where this is supposed to be the index of. So 1 minus 1. So we know that each one has to be minus 1 to get the index of it. And since it's not in there yet, we're going to turn it negative. And at 2, we turn negative. And 2, we see that it's already negative. So we keep it. So we still keep it as the positive because of this. And now that's negative. So that's how we do this first step of it to get the duplicate. And now we loop through it again, but we're going to do it the other way with the I, because we need to know the index of it. And now we have to see where it's positive. So if nums is greater than 0, we know that's what we want. So output dot push, and we have to go by the index of I, and we add it to 1. And we just return output. Great, see, so we have this, turn negative, and then this is the second index, and we just added 1 index of what it's supposed to be. So it's kind of tricky because you have to wrap your mind around of using the index of it, but that's how we just manipulate this original nums array to get what we want. For the complexity, time complexity first. We know that we're looping through this nums twice, so it's going to be O of n. And space complexity, because this change is a constant change within this array, and this is a constant because we know it's going to be two index output no matter what. So we're gonna do O of 1. So that is how we solve this problem. Thank you.